less than 10 men in a million in the UK will suffer from penis cancer. Most are over 60, so it was a shock for Stuart Shields when at the age of only 40 he was diagnosed with cancer of the penis. And he joins us now with his wife Marion and of course Dr. Chris. Welcome both of you, and thank you for talking so openly about this, because it's obviously something that at the beginning you'd think, oh, this is something I don't really want to talk about because you're a bloke and because it's personal. So it was really March 2003 when you found a small little lump on the ends of your penis.
Dry skin.
Dry
skin, basically, yeah.
Dry skin. The doctor gave you various creams and things. Then that turned into a sort of like a little nick. Yeah,
and that was when he then sent us off to see the GUM clinic, gum clinic.
Genital urinary medicine.
So but did he offer you the dermatologist as well as the GUM?
dermatologist first, or the GUM clinic.
So you went to the GUM clinic, which deals, as we know, with sexually transmitted diseases as well as anything to do with the genital urinary area.
Which is what they were hoping for.
Yes.
They'd seen it before.
And let's not skip over the fact that you didn't want to go. I mean, you were absolutely typical bloke here. Discovered that there's an issue with the worst possible part of your body to have a problem with, and you'd be thinking anywhere else but this. So you had to nag him, didn't you?
That's right, yeah.
He didn't want to go?
No.
So what did you say to him? What were you saying to him?
I just completely nagged him non-stop for about a week, I think it was, until he actually caved in and went to the doctors.
And are you the sort of guy that doesn't necessarily, you don't...
I'm the sort of guy that doesn't take time off work. I mean, I even went back to work halfway through my treatment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just a typical bloke, really.
Not a malingerer in any way.
No.
Let's not talk about it. Let's get on with it.
Yeah.
So, but then you had this horrible weekend when you go off to the GUM clinic and you think, well, OK, I'm here. Then they say, well, we think this is probably an STI, sexually transmitted infection, or a...
What it was, that because they didn't know what it was, they automatically called it an NSU.
Non-specific urethritis.
Yeah. And because of that, they send you in to see a counsellor. And the counsellor says, oh, NSU. Have you, do you trust your wife to do this? Have you played, basically, have you played away at all? We might call this. And it wasn't until, which we hadn't, but of course, then they invite the wife in for tests as well. And it's not until later on the following week that you find out that it wasn't an issue at all. They just called it that because they didn't know what it was.
So you had this tense weekend with, I'm sure you were looking at Stuart, Marion.
And it was the other way around as well.
Because you're away a lot with your work, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you were thinking, well, Marion, while I've been away, what have you been up to?
Exactly.
So that's a difficult strain on a relationship.
Very much so.
And then this mixture of relief and horror when you go back, because they've called you back for a biopsy, then the biopsy results come through and...
That's when they said they thought it might be cancer. So, yeah. So, I mean, that was even worse, that's even more of a shock because I think you looked at me at the same time, didn't you? I didn't even know you could get cancer then.
No, you wouldn't think about it.
No, exactly.
So you had all the tests and scans and yes, it was. And then they're going to give you an operation. And they say this is, what was the word they used? Aggressive surgery.
Consultants use that word. The best way to deal with this is aggressive surgery. Which,
so
as you can imagine,
what do you put the whole thing off?
Yeah. That's the first thing that goes through your mind.
Yes,
obviously they don't, but they take a fair amount away.
Yes.
And
So when you go in for this aggressive surgery, what's going through your mind? What are you thinking?
I think I was very lucky in some ways because I believe, I think Marion will back it up, but I actually switched off. From the day they told me it was cancer, I actually completely switched off. I wasn't hearing what they were saying or anything. And I took Marion to every appointment with me. And it's a good job I did because there was things they were telling me that I just didn't. It was like sitting there going in one ear out the other and you just walk out there and you think, that's another appointment done. But nothing ever lodged. Yes. Not until you went home later that day, and you'd be talking to Marion or what have you, and she'd say, well, such and such, and
when you had, when you came round, because a terrifying moment, you have your anaesthetic and you're counting back, thinking, right, okay, well, I'm going to sleep now. What the hell am I going to be waking up with? When you woke up, what had been done?
They'd removed 2.5 centimetres from the top.
from the end of the penis.
Yeah.
It's called the glans penis, the bulbous
and
part.
you are then thinking, well, is it going to work?
Well,
You
yeah,
know,
I mean, next day eventually you take the dressings off and it's just like, it's nothing like you imagine. So it's just, you can't describe it. It's just, it's just as you would imagine it.
Yeah, so very bruised, very sore, a little bit less of it.
Yeah.
There's no sort of reconstructive surgery?
No.
No.
I don't believe they can do reconstructive surgery because they need to examine the area.
Yeah, very
so that's
difficult.
one of those things that...
Yes.
But they got it all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was no chemo necessary, no
I was very, very
radiotherapy
lucky. No
necessary.
chemo, no radio, surgery sorted everything.
And regular appointments, regular
Yeah, we're still,
checkups.
4 years down the line?
4 years down the line,
It's still 6
monthly.
monthlies.
Well, that's good though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then, this is a personal question, but we have to ask it. How quickly was it back to working order?
About
You answer that one.
month and a half, 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, the consultant asked us after 2 weeks on it.
Yeah.
He said after 2 weeks. We were like, not yet.
Hold on
Give
a
me
minute.
a chance.
yeah.
So yes, and obviously not going to be personal, but what you have now is you're okay and you're happy and it's all in working order.
Perfect. Yeah.
And Marion, you're happy. You've
Yes.
got your
That's more to the
husband.
point, isn't it?
He's alive and well, and
That's
he's good. And during that time, because you were saying you went to your appointments and just closed down, and I can understand that entirely. I mean, a woman would do that too, and we always say, men just don't want to know about it. But you closed down emotionally, couldn't speak to Marion. Marion, of course, you wanted to talk to him because you could see he's very upset and concerned. So you started to email your thoughts to Marion instead.
Yeah, I took a fall in Paris, and basically, Marion turned around to me and said, "You've either got to talk to me, or we've got to think about something." And she actually came up with the idea of just like writing things down.
Yeah.
So I ended up writing things down in an email, and sooner or later it turned into a book.
Fantastic. Look, there it is. Cancer of the penis, every man's worst nightmare. And it's really rare, Chris.
Yeah, it is. If you look at all the cancers that occur in men, it's 0.3% of all the cancers that men get.
Nonetheless, vital, like any unusual lump or bump, to go and ask for.
Yes, I was talking to
clarification.
Stuart beforehand. I said, had he come to see me, I would have done the same as his GP, just had an area of dry, rough skin. So he gave him steroid creams to apply, which is fine. You'd never think of it being cancer of the penis. But of course, the viewers should learn from this that any change in your body anywhere, just get it checked out, no matter how small. You're not wasting the doctor's time, especially in areas like this. Now, if you've got a change in your skin on your hand or your face, your pharmacist could tell you.
Yes,
the pharmacists are highly trained. But it's any change could be something serious.
But also, as a bloke, you have got to get it into your mind that there's nothing macho about sitting at home and not doing anything about it. You're far more sensible to get it sorted out because you've got responsibilities to your family. You have to look after yourself. You have to go in and you have to report these things, no matter how embarrassing they could be.
Yes, it's why can't a man be more like a woman? Because women are great with medical matters. They used to go into the doctor.
Well, I was about to say that because of the smears and childbirth and and I'm sure you'd say, well, actually we don't want to be used to it, but you're used to it.
Well, yes, at a young age, don't you? A woman gets used to pulling her drawers down and having to do all the stuff she doesn't particularly want to do, but you've got to do it.
Yes.
But the important thing you then get in your mind is that doctor, male, female, whatever, is certainly not embarrassed themselves.
No.
You're the 99th that week.
Yeah, and that's our job. Nothing embarrasses us. But of course, you do understand the patients are embarrassed, and men are dying from embarrassment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then doctors know how to deal with somebody who comes in embarrassed as well.
Of course we do. It's part of the job.
Yeah.
Well done. Not only for finally taking the notice of your good lady wife there and getting yourself sorted out, but also for putting it to some good use as well. And it's good to see you healthy here today.
Very healthy.
Thank you for coming
Thank
in.
you.
Good.
Thank you
Good to
both
come on the
very much.
show as
Well
well.
done, Marion.
Excellent.
Yeah. Now
Thanks,
don't go
Chris.
anywhere because Dr. Chris is going to be taking your calls in his male health clinic.
Yes, and for those of you with children in the room, just a little warning. We'll be showing Dr. Chris doing his testicular examination as part of the clinic. So, I mean, some children want to see that, that's absolutely fine, but if you feel that's not appropriate, just Gavin doing a bit of painting somewhere else, right after this.